Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the DP Corp Limited Q4 FY21 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star and 0 on your touchtone phone. I now hand the conference over to Ms. Hina. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, and good evening to everyone. We welcome you to the DP Corp Limited Q4 and FY21 post-earnings call. We have with us today the senior management team of DP Corp Limited, Mr. Pawan Agrawal, Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Girish Agrawal, Non-Executive Director, Mr. P.G. Mishra, Group CFO, Mr. Mushtaq Ali, Vice President Finance and Account, Mr. Lalit Jain, CGM Finance and Account, and Mr. Prasun Kumar Pandey, Head Investor and Media Relations, who will represent DP Corp Limited on the call. We will be sharing the key operating and financial highlights for the quarter and year ended 31st March 2021, followed by question and answer session. Before we begin, we would like to state that some of the statements made in today's discussion may be forward-looking in nature and may involve risks and uncertainties. Documents relating to the company's financial performance have already been emailed to you and are available on the websites of the stock exchanges and company's investor website. We trust you have been able to go through the same. Now I invite Mr. Pawan Agrawal to share his outlook on DP Corp's performance for the quarter. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Hina, and good evening to everyone. Hope you and all and your families are healthy and safe. We will begin the call by highlighting the key financial performance for the quarter ended March 31st, 2021, followed by operational updates during the quarter. We are happy to share that improved economic conditions, coupled with our continuous efforts towards cost rationalization and supported by continued soft prices for newsprint, have aided in improving our profitability. In Q4 FY 2021, we reported a net profit of rupees 619 million, registering a year-on-year growth of 158%. The operating profit stood at rupees 1,047 million, a YOY growth of 52%, wherein our operating margins have seen a significant improvement, have expanded by about 900 basis points from 14% to 23%. Consolidated advertising revenues stood at rupees 3,084 million in Q4 FY 2021, while circulation revenues stood at rupees 1,104 million, and the total revenues came in at rupees 4,601 million. Talking about FY 21, we have reported revenues of rupees 15,222 million, with operating profits of 3,193 million and a PAT of 1,414 million. Various cost measures implemented in the year has supported the bottom line. Dainik Bhaskar Group radio business continues to maintain a leadership position in all significant markets. Radio advertising revenues for the quarter stood at rupees 278 million, with an operating profit of rupees 93 million and a net profit of rupees 132 million in Q4 FY 2021. Radio business has got music royalty reversal as per Intellectual Property Appellate Board decision, which is being shown below EBITDA since it pertains to previous years. Despite the challenging times, we continue to outperform the entire print industry in terms of advertisement and circulations on the back of our reader-centric approach, editorial excellence, product innovation, and well-thought and implemented circulation strategy. Going forward, we strive to further strengthen our position in our markets by delivering compelling value to our readers as well as advertisers. I would now request Mr. Girish Agrawal to
Thank you, Pawan. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Pawan. Good evening to everyone, and I hope that everyone continues to stay safe and healthy. Over the past year, the print media landscape was undergoing a structural shift, with the COVID-19 pandemic accelerating some of these trends, with Indian language print emerging much stronger and on the back of a significantly improved performance to its English counterpart in terms of circulation as well as advertising revenues. During the pandemic, with the increase in fake news on social media and unsustainable information being circulated, print media witnessed the renewed focus from the advertisers on the backdrop of being the most credible medium in news dissemination. Further validated by well-known research agencies like the Ormex survey, which conducted the Cantor study, Trust in News study in last year, and the ASCI Trust study in December of 2020, which indicates that the overall credibility print is at the top and has further increased compared to the other mediums, news mediums. As you are aware, at the onset of the first wave of COVID-19 pandemic, print industry experienced massive disruption, while amidst the second wave, it has managed to remain relatively unfazed, and especially the Indian language newspapers, with circulation numbers remaining largely intact and an improved engagement with readers. On the editorial front, I'm proud to say that Dainik Bhaskar Group continues to strive for editorial excellence even during these difficult times. Our editorial teams have put their best foot forward in curating the best content for its reader while maintaining its high standard of journalistic integrity and ethics. Dainik Bhaskar Group editorial team continues to stay true to its core value of courageous and honest journalism and provided extensive coverage of the ground realities of the healthcare infrastructure as well as the treatment of the departed, which has garnered Dainik Bhaskar Group a global acknowledgement. Our stories were replicated by the various reputed global media houses like the New York Times, which has published the story today, written by one of our editors, The Guardian, BBC, CNN, Washington Post. They all have really taken the link from Dainik Bhaskar stories and have published them to be known to the world. Along with that, in social media, most of the Dainik Bhaskar stories were tweeted and exchanged views by various people across the globe. We believe our reader-centric editorial approach will continue to strengthen our position further in the market we operate and thereby result in improved advertiser spend. And I must really acknowledge and thank our editorial team, our brave journalists, those who really went out while the whole world is working from home. Our journalists actually went out to find out the truth, what is actually happening on the ground, to make people aware about it. Whether it's the story of the Ganga, where our team went and covered the 1100-kilometer patch of the Ganga banks and found out that the dead bodies of COVID departed were just buried there or left in the Ganga. And while the government was not accepting the fact, our people went there and did the story with the pictures and the fact. Our journalists went to the crematorium where the relatives of the dead were not coming for the last rites, but our journalists went there to find out what is the truth, how many people actually died out of COVID, and informed the government so that they could take the necessary correction action for the safety of the people at large. So I must really thank all the journalists, those who took that effort, and they actually risked their life. It's very easier said than done, but I think hats off to all of them. On the circulation front, our circulation team continued effort and focused strategies have yielded strong results. We are happy to share that in Q4 FY21, the circulation registered the growth of around 300 basis points on the quarter-on-quarter basis, enabling the group to achieve 90% of the pre-COVID circulation level. Further, these efforts were also helped us reaching almost 95% circulation back in some of our stronger editions also. The recoveries have been significantly higher in the key states of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat and Bihar. We are happy to report that during the second wave of COVID-19, we continue to remain tall. Our team's effort and strategy formulated during the first wave has not only aided in safeguarding our circulation during these times, but in fact we have gained the market share in most of our markets. On the advertising front, the financial year 21 has been a truly challenging year. But at the same time, keeping with our philosophy of turning adversity into opportunity, Dainik Bhaskar team continued to be at the forefront of innovation in the entire print industry in India. We published almost 20 mega editions across our major markets, which was a kind of a testimony of recovery stemming from the tier 2 and 3 cities and beyond markets we operate in. During the year, we have undertaken various initiatives like virtual market visits to marketers, advertisers, various initiatives to work with the advertisers so that they can get some response and we can also get some revenue from that. Our cost optimization efforts have resulted in a saving of around 195 crores in overall other operating and the personal expenses put together. If you remember, last year we made an estimation that we could be able to save 125 crores, but I think with the efforts of our team, we were able to go up to 195. And out of this 195 crores, our current estimation is that for the next year, we should be able to take 55-60% as the sustainable saving even going forward. The dissemination of our content via digital medium is another significant emphasis area in the company. We continue to invest in our digital business with a long-term focus on increasing the numbers of daily active users on our app. Our large focus is on our app only, and we have made significant strides in this area. Our strategy of creating the best-in-class ad-free user experience on our digital app has got a lot of reader engagement and has given us almost 5x growth of our users in last 12 months' time, as per the latest ComScore report. Furthermore, our Hindi and Gujarati news app are one of the highest rated news apps, a result of high quality content creation and a highly tailored product experience. This is all from our side. My colleagues and now, I will be happy to respond to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Amit Sharma from M3 Investment. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity and congratulations for the impactful news you have created in the past few months. My question one is on the COVID wave 2. Now that's hit the non-metro particularly hard. So what changes do you see or any structural changes do you see due to this and any change in the advertiser profile?
So we have, see what has happened, this COVID second wave actually came in the month of April and the lockdown happened in April and May, and now in the first week of June, most of these states have opened up. In last 2 months, suddenly the advertising was very subdued, but the circulation wise, we didn't see major impact. We saw an impact of around 5-6% copies, which is now gradually coming back. So advertising so far, it looks still good that going forward, because we noticed in the month of June, since the time the market has opened up in last 15 days, we are seeing the traction back from the real estate, auto and other categories also.
All right. But any changes than what you saw in the wave 1 in the advertiser profile, or it's too early?
Too early, to be very honest.
All right. My second question is, on the outlook of radio industry for the next 3-5 years. So, the way you created an impactful news in the newspaper, do you think anything of some lines in the FM industry or any other changes which you may want to bring about?
So on the radio, what is changing in the radio is number of people with smartphones and ability to deliver radio to their handsets. 2 is also the music, the kind of music that is coming now is really improved and has gotten people. And third, we have realized that radio in future has to be a local medium, and which means more and more local content, more and more local jogs, and more personalization of music. So we're optimistic about radio listenership and the fact that it has to grow. It will grow only by way of making it as local as possible and not syndicating it, not running like a one show across the country, not running same music across the country. And that has worked well for us all these years.
Sure. And my third question is, tech companies have been globally tying up with print medium. In our country, when do you think that moment is, or any guidelines or any timelines which you can share as to how this should evolve?
Sorry, I couldn't get your question, please.
So what I was saying is we are hearing tech companies tying up with global print companies, right? Do you see that? What are the timelines do you think that will happen in India? I mean, how far or close are we for that?
Yeah, I think, as I mentioned to you, our digital number is also growing, and we are confident that maybe in next few years' time, digital and print is going to grow together. Now, when the subscription model will emerge in digital is anybody's guess right now.
All right. Thank you for the answers.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, may press star and one now. The next question is from the line of Himanshu Yu from PGIM Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So my first question is, the way the business is evolving, do we want to enter new geographies in next 1 or 2 years? Means the circulation strategy which we had earlier was to enter new geographies and aggressively expand. Is there rethinking what we are trying to do on that strategy, or what would be your pathway from here on?
You remember,
can guide?
I think 2.5 years back, in fact 3 years now, we announced that we don't want to enter into new geography. We already have enough markets with us. Now, idea is that how do we grow those markets furthermore, whether it's Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat or Rajasthan, how do we increase our market share there in circulation as well as the ad revenue. So any new geography is totally out of question.
Okay. And in the emerging markets where we have are still to break even, okay, if we see those market itself, we need at least double of revenue to break even, okay, and show profitability. What are we doing to improve those profitability, and how soon can we think of break even in those markets now?
So I think we have to look at the market individually, whether it's Bihar, Jharkhand or Maharashtra, those who are emerging markets. In fact, I'm happy to announce that most of these markets actually became EBITDA positive 2 years back before the COVID. But for COVID, now we'll have to restart the whole work over there so that they come back to the profitability and improve from there. And the work is on that.
Okay. And one more thing. In the local markets, have we seen any smaller players moving out of the business in print media or any consolidation opportunities? What has happened on the ground in your industry? Can you elaborate?
I think this is a very relevant question you asked, and I'm happy to share with you that there's always an opportunity in adversity. I think in last 1 year's time, what we have seen that most of the players in most of the market, forget the smaller player, I'm talking about the number 2 or number 3s also, have kind of got shaken up, and they have done the cost cutting left, right and center, and in a way they have compromised the product. And that's the reason post-COVID we are seeing an improved market share, whether it's Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar. In all these markets we are seeing in our market share in terms of circulation and the share of wallet as well as the share of mind, we have a larger market share happening. And that is what we need to strategize now. We are strategizing to ensure that we are able to take the advantage of that going forward.
See, can you elaborate? Because see, in this market share, the issue is this, that for us also the circulation is down only. If I see the revenue wise, okay. So how much you would have gained, it is very difficult to really get a hold of on the numbers side, okay.
So since we operate in those markets, so for example, in a particular market, I'm down by 10%. I actually went down to 20%, then I recovered 10%. I'm now down by only 10%, which I'm 90% of the base. But my competitors, who's still struggling at around 70-75%. So which means I have gained faster than my competition. So my market share in circulation has changed. And that is what we are working on to see that how that can be brought in the impact on the advertising.
Okay. And let's say when we read about Bombay, okay, so one of the local newspaper is out from the English space, okay, and the other English newspaper has shown a better profitability or revenue growth, or let's say better circulation, okay. But in our case, we are not yet able to see that. So how soon or late will it start showing into the numbers side? So what you are saying?
It's again a very relative and comparative working. So for example, in a particular market of say Gujarat, now I know my market share in Gujarat has improved, compared to pre-COVID, and now the advertising has to come back to me. And that's what the planning is, that the advertising with what come back in the market, I should be able to take a lion's share of that. So I think in next 6 to 12 months time, we should be able to really get the numbers from the ground that have we improved our market share in terms of advertising also or not, or the improvement in the advertising rates and all.
So I have one last question, then I'll join back in the queue. In the radio versus newspaper in the local media, which space do you think the advertisement will come sharper and faster? Means, what is your assessment?
Obviously, people come back to the print much faster and sharper, and then they look into the other medium, outdoor, radio and all that. And that's what's happening in our market. If you see the print in the fourth quarter also, we have a faster recovery, though we still have around 6% less than over last year, but radio is slightly lesser than that, in terms of recovery. So obviously the print comes faster for the local.
Okay. Thank you. I'll join back in the queue.
Sure.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, may press star and 1 now. The next question is from the line of Himanshu Shah from Dolat Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity and congratulations for a good set of numbers.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, can you just provide outlook on newsprint prices? This quarter we have seen marginal increase sequentially. You had called out this in last quarter itself. How is the newsprint price trend looking from here on? FY21 had been quite supportive in that sense on newsprint front.
So let me give you the numbers out. If you look at the quarter 4 of this year, what we finished, our newsprint prices rates per ton was in the range of 36,600, 700, which was 35,600, which was almost 4% decline from the last year, but almost 3% up from the QOQ. Looking at the trend right now, I think because of the Indian manufacturer still facing acute shortage of the waste paper, as well as the fuel prices up of the transportation and all, these prices are going to go up by almost 12 to 15% in the next quarter. And maybe from the third quarter onwards, we may see some softening.
Okay, so we are expecting a 12 to 15% increase in terms of newsprint prices.
Yes.
Okay, and from third quarter onwards, sir, hopefully we should see it settle over what kind of a number? Is it fair to assume it should cool off by 5-6% from the increased level?
Should be sharper than that. Why? Because the availability of the waste paper will be good enough. Because suddenly what has happened in last 2 months time, because of lockdown, again the waste paper movement didn't happen in India, and all these mills, they are depending on the waste paper to do the manufacturing. So I think that should improve.
Okay, and so globally, in terms of import of newsprint or any other stuff, there is no particular shortage or anything specific. Since there are no global factors at play for increase in newsprint prices.
No, as I mentioned to you, even global factor facing the same problem of the waste paper. So most of the manufacturers, those who are making newsprint, they didn't have the waste papers available to them for manufacturing. So that's the reason they were also facing the problem of the prices, input cost. And though availability was not an issue, that's the reason our ratio of the imported newsprint from 39% of the overall last year went up to 54% this year.
Okay. And sir, imported newsprint should be costlier than Indian, and by how much percentage?
It all depends from the quality to quality. In certain cases, at times it's almost at par. Depends on which port you are taking it and which Indian supplier you're buying it from.
Okay, fair enough, sir. So second question related to cost. Significantly good job on cost front. However, on a quarter-on-quarter basis, there has been a sharp jump in employee cost, and even other expenses have gone up. Anything specific over here, and this is the run rate that we should project for future quarters?
So 3 reasons. First of all, the ESOPs were booked in this quarter. The performance pay of the Q4, which was to incentivize the team to make sure that they are able to get the job done at the ground. Furthermore, and also in digital, we have increased our expenses in digital to get the traction much more.
Fair enough, sir. So ESOPs should be like one-time expense, fair to assume that?
No, largely one time, but as in when every year it happens,
Okay. So, sir, fair to assume from next quarter we should be back again to that 90-95 crore range on a quarterly basis for employee cost?
Yeah, very much.
Okay. And, sir, increase in other expenses largely on account of increase in other operating income?
Yes. And also what has happened, the other operating income has slightly gone up, and because of the Q4, certain expenses has been booked in this Q4.
Fair enough, sir. So third point on our dividend. So we have scaled back on our dividend. So shall we envisage any kind of buyback or any further payout in coming quarters?
In today's board meeting, the board has considered and recommended a 3 rupee dividend. Even in this difficult time, board has recommended a 3 rupees dividend, as a final dividend. Our dividend policy, just to reiterate, that it's the same, that company doesn't want to keep any extra cash in the books. So whatever the cash available, we would be ensuring that we pass it on to people as a dividend. And this time, the bank balance and cash balances were almost 315 crores as on 31st March. Board took a call that looking at the overall scenario, we still wanted to give a 3 rupees out and then keep some cash now and take a further call in the coming quarters and announce the dividend.
Fair enough, sir. So just one last question on the yield, advertising yield front. Can you provide some color? Means now print as an industry had been struggling since last 4-5 years, even before pre-COVID, since demonetization and GST days. So how does the yield compares currently versus pre-pandemic level, or from a peak yield that we would have achieved at a portfolio level or at a company level? Where would we be on yield front?
Frankly speaking, this yield is a very theoretical question right now. Why? Because most of the time the deals are right now, because of the last 1 year issue, is happening on the total ticket size. So I'm willing to give out some more discount if a person is willing to increase my budget, what they've been spending with me last year. So to be very honest, the focus is not on the yield. Focus is on the total number this year.
Fair enough, sir. Sir, I'll try and ask this question in a slightly different manner. Probably, sir, in FY19, we had a peak advertising revenue of around 1,560 odd crores. When do you feel or envisage once the normalcy returns? I know currently these are a bit of an uncertain times, but assuming that normalcy starts coming back from H2 of this financial year, when do you see this kind of run rate coming back?
I'm so confident that the moment normalcy comes in, we should be able to clock better number than this.
Thank you, sir. That was very, very helpful, and all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Yogesh Kirve from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for the opportunity. So Google has globally launched a news showcase product and been doing various partnership with the various publishers, and I understand even in India they announced some partnerships. So where are we? So are we also in negotiations for this particular product, and what could be the expectation or the size of this opportunity could be from a 3 to 5 year perspective? Thank you.
So we are in talks with Google, discussing that how we can help them in India in terms of their search, because people come and search for what? People come on Google to search for news, and news comes from the news organizations. So we're working on them, in active talk with them to see if some kind of arrangement can be worked out with them.
Okay. So is there any sort of a quantification or any qualitative color of whether do we anticipate this to be a very significant driver of at least digital revenues?
So if you see what happened in Australia and France and US,
yes.
In Australia, the regulator has asked Google to share almost 10% of their revenues with the publishers. In France also, a similar kind of thing, and in America also they are talking. So we are expecting the similar kind of work to be done in India also, and we are approaching regulators to evaluate the whole landscape, and based on that take a call. And I'm sure Google would be prudent enough to analyze the Indian market, the importance, and take a call accordingly.
Okay, fair enough. My second question related to the inventory. So I understand with the volatility in prices, this is not a waste of time to ask this question. But the inventory days used to be, if you look at 3 or 4 years back, it used to be like 100 days of the raw material cost. And obviously it has increased over the last 2 years. I think even if I take a 4Q run rate of raw material cost, it works out to like 175 days. So do we anticipate or that this number should normalize from a 2 or 3 year perspective, or the high inventory is here for stay?
So when you in inventory, there are two things. One is that because of the lower pagination, if you see compared to last year, we had 20% less pagination. Because of that, certain inventory is issue. As far as I think that is the only reason, frankly speaking. So that should not be a big issue. It should be getting corrected in next quarter itself.
Okay, and just one point related to the, you made reference regarding the newsprint prices could rise by 10-15%. So we are referring to the spot prices, right? So our costs that we would incur can be different from that, right? It could be lower than that.
See, what has happened today, the newsprint manufacturers are behaving in a very strange manner. Some of them are not willing to honor their earlier commitments also and all that, because they have issue of their input cost, they have issue of a transportation cost and all that. So we are negotiating with them, and let's see how it goes quarter on quarter.
Okay, just finally, I think I appreciate you already made some comments related to the second wave impact. But little more on that. I mean, during the first wave, we've seen sort of a revenue capitulating, not just for you or not just for print, but for the entire industry. So from our assumption is the impact of the second wave is nowhere near that, right? And we are looking more like a flattish trend rather than kind of heavy declines we are seeing post first wave.
One thing I can say that the recovery on the second wave is much faster than what happened last time.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. That's all from me. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ankit Shah from White Equity. Please go ahead.
Thank you for taking my question. Sir, one question on the digital piece. Sir, we've disclosed the growth in MAU numbers over last 12 months. Sir, can you also share something about the DAU numbers accordingly?
Yeah. So we can't give you the exact number as we took the liberty from you a couple of quarters back. But I can assure you that the growth what has happened in the MAU is almost resulting in the DAUs also.
Right. Okay. And sir, as a follow-up, sir, when do you anticipate introduction of subscription on the app? Maybe how far are we from subscription on the app? A few months, quarters, or it's still quite some time away?
I would still give it more than a year.
Okay. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Apurva Sharma from PGIM India. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My question regarding is digital properties. Just wanted to understand, when so we had a good amount of engagement on our digital properties, right?
Yes.
Just wanted to know your thoughts, or is there some back-end data where when the wave recedes, like the first wave and now the second wave is opening up, does the user engagement level dip or it remains the same, or how is it? I'm just trying to understand.
A lot of growth came in during the first wave COVID peak. And as you would have noticed, if you look at ComScore data of most of the news publishers, most of the publishers lost the numbers after the COVID wave last year. And we continued to grow. Our pace didn't go down because we were very focused on the app. So the app numbers continued to grow because that was a loyal audience. And even if you compare the app numbers with other players on ComScore, you would have noticed that our numbers have been healthier than the overall landscape of news apps. And if I look at the last 6 months also, the interest has been increasing because our team is not focusing only on the content of COVID. We are also focusing on a lot of other needs of a user on the app, and that is helping us keep up the momentum.
So on that app analytics, so this is the user number of downloads maybe, but on an app, user spending time, per user spending time on the app, would we have that kind of data, and is it improving or decreasing or staying flat?
We're looking at time spent, let's say, and the time spent is healthy.
It's improved.
Yeah, we're looking at time spent, and the time spent is healthy.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ayaz Motiwala from Nivalis Partners. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Thank you for taking my question, sir. So firstly, a quick clarification on the press release that you've done. There's an item which confuses me on the second page. It says consolidated operational revenue of 395 million or 39.5 crores and 41 crores. In the table that adds up, and I cannot make out what is this item. Is this a digital item or something that you're trying to say in that?
I'm sorry, I don't have a press release copy with me right now. So may I request you to take this offline with us?
Okay. Okay, sir. That's not an issue. I mean, it's just a confusion in terms of being able to process what you've shared.
The copy. One second. I've got the copy. Could you take me to the which page you're talking about, please?
It's on the third page of your press release where there is a table.
Yeah, which one? The financial results, the Q4 financial highlight?
Q4 financial results with the head. So the fifth sort of column, or the fourth, which says consolidated operational revenue.
Operational revenue, which is 39 crores, has gone up to 41 crores.
What is this item, sir? I don't understand it.
This is interest on FDRs and few other things like that.
I'm sorry, this is what?
Interest on FDR few fixed deposit and few smaller other things. Wastage sale also.
What sale? Real estate sale?
The wastage, newspaper wastage.
Oh, wastage sale. Okay. So
we have around 2.5% newspaper waste happens, so that the sale of that also comes in this.
Okay. Yeah, because it's operational, right? So financial income wouldn't be under this part. It will be wastage sale and other such things.
Yeah. And why it has increased? Because the newsprint wastage price also has gone up. So that's the reason you're seeing increase. Yeah.
Right. Okay. It's a pretty large number, sir. It comes in every year.
But I do one thing. I'll ask our relationship officer, Mr. Prasun, to get in touch with you and give you the details of this 41 item-wise.
Sure, no problem. Okay. So the other business-related question that I have, which has often been asked to you, and you all have excused on the digital side, you're opening up a little bit in terms of daily, monthly active users, how you're trying to create an ad-free experience, etc. So would you say in the current reported numbers, there is some amount of digital revenues that you all are making at this stage, or there is still only an investment that you are going ahead with?
So as you know, in our revenue, digital is almost nil because on our app, there is no advertising. We don't accept any ad on our app. So there is no revenue part, but the expenses, what we are doing to promote digital, the team and all that, is certainly a part of that.
Right. Okay. And so the related question on the way you broke stories on the crisis in Ganga related to COVID deaths and how bodies are floating, etc. On a emerging scenario for readers, as you said, there is a lot of loyalty building up on the online platform, and we are also seeing emergence of new competition which does not have the legacy press background or even the TV background, which is essentially online. So on the convergence side, do you see actually a possibility that you are primarily not present in the audio-visual medium in the form of TV, but you are obviously jumped on to the digital medium? Would you see an emergence of a cross sort of situation where people have minor clips of videos or such a podcast or some of that thing? Is that the evolution that you see in your user engagement and studies? Could you throw some light on that, please? This also covers a bit of your competition, sir, because the competition, which is the new age digital competition, is trying to do these kind of things to get on people like us as listeners or readers.
It does open up huge opportunities going forward in the digital format. As of now, are we monetizing it in some format? No, because our focus is to ensure that the engagement of the reader goes up with us. And as you mentioned, this certainly opens up other areas which are not currently we are in, like we are in newspaper, but through digital format, other areas the opportunity also comes up. And we will explore them as we go forward.
Just a last part to that question, sir. Does your team actually, or does your media brief actually encourage your journalists to go towards that journey, which is, are you equipped to do audio-visual medium along with the traditional press medium or the digital medium, which is still sort of electronic writing?
Certainly, yes. All 3,000 journalists have been given training over a period of last few years to understand how they capture a story for print medium and how they can do a short story for the digital medium with the pictures and videos and all that. Apart from that, there's a dedicated team for videos because video is a very specialized medium. So there's a dedicated team for that also. And I would encourage you, if you could download our app, it's Dainik Bhaskar app, please download that and experience it.
Sure. Yeah, I appreciate your answer, sir. These are my questions, and I'll come back in the queue if there is anything further. Thank you very much and all the best.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question, please press star and one now. The next question is from the line of Rahul Nagnur from RN Associates. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Congrats on your very good performance. So, as you mentioned in earlier conversation that newsprint prices are going around 12 to 15% in Q2, and then Q3 will be a little bit softening. Are we having any strategy to cover this cost by increasing any cover price or any ad rates on that front?
Yes, sir. So we have increased cover price across most of our markets, ranging from 8 to 10 rupees a month.
Okay. And my second question, would you throw a little bit light on what is virtual market visits, what you have introduced during this pandemic?
This is actually, the most of the advertisers, those who are sitting in Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, they are working from home. They don't want to step out to their office also. So we thought, how do we give them the real-time experience of our markets of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Bihar? So we shot videos for them in those markets, and then we explained them that this is a virtual thing. So if you want to know what is happening in Indore, because when you sit in Bombay and Delhi, you think the world is different. So we thought, why don't we give you the glimpses? Because if you notice, right from September onward, the entire tier 2, 3, 4 was thriving, booming.
Right.
We thought we must give them the idea that you may be sitting at home in Bombay or Delhi or Bangalore, but rest of India is not. They are back to action. So we took those videos and showed them, took them to a virtual tour of our markets.
Okay. That's interesting. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And all the best for your next performance.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dipesh Kashyap from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. Thank you for taking my questions. Sir, while you answered one question that your talks with Google are still on, but just wanted to understand if you know that the Google agreement with other 30-odd publishers that has already happened, is it on the same lines of agreements that happened in Australia and France, or the revenue sharing terms are different?
Sir, those agreements are confidential. Obviously, nobody is sharing on those terms.
Okay. And secondly, sir, if this agreement actually goes through, do you think you will reduce the efforts and the cash from that is happening in the digital side right now?
The revenue will come in. That will certainly benefit the company.
No, sir, but the efforts that you're making for your own website or app, will that continue in the same pace, or do you think you will reduce because you have a sustainable revenue stream going ahead with this?
No. When I get the more fuel, I will put more fuel in to increase my efforts.
Understood. Right. Secondly, sir, on Bihar market, I think it's still being considered as part of the emerging business for the last 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. So just wanted to understand what kind of difficulties you're facing there, and is there a timeline by when you think it will turn profitable?
So Bihar actually turned EBITDA positive in 18-19, and in 19-20 also it was almost there, but because of the last month of March of COVID, and this year all these numbers have changed. So I think now crucial for us that we rework on Bihar for 21-22 and next year to see that we come back again in a profitable situation there.
Okay, got it. And so lastly, has there been any further drop in circulation copies again that this lockdown has happened in the month of May and June?
Yeah, so in April, May there was a decline in the copies, and which is now coming back in June. And we are hopeful that by July, August, we should be back to our March 21 numbers.
So was the decline same level as last year, or like?
No. Thankfully, this time there was no unnecessary rumors and no. So we got declined by around 5-7%. But that decline also happened because certain area was total lockdown. Like in Madhya Pradesh, almost in few markets, no movement was allowed. Even for milk, you had to go out in a queue in a particular time. So that's the reason for few weeks the copies got dropped down in few markets.
Got it, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anish J from Banyan Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good evening, sir, and thank you for the opportunity. Sir, I just wanted to understand in terms of our yield. You already, you mentioned that you are looking at more volumes and not focusing a lot on the yield, but just wanted to get your sense of, when will you try to recover those yields back, and how much are they down, let's say, versus the last quarter of Q3? I think last quarter you mentioned some 5% odd yield decline, right? Where are we right now today, and has this yield drop been different between the different geographies and different states? So when we see some of our competition, so their yield drop has been much higher than what we have seen. So could you try to, could you please explain what's the difference between us and the competition overall?
Yield is a very, very local phenomena, depending on the market, depending on the category, depending on the strength. In certain markets, yields are pretty intact. In certain markets, they are very bad. Overall number you already know. In Q4, the number wasn't much different than Q3. But obviously in Q1 of this year, like April, May, markets were down, so we had to offer people something to say, okay, come on board, we will support you and all that. So I think as of now, to be very honest, in 21-22, our efforts will not be on yield. Our effort will be to get the top line back. And then on 22 onwards, we will start talking again about the yield. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to throw away discount just like that. We are very cautious in our decision that I'm willing to support advertiser who's willing to come forward and saying that, okay, I'm parking a larger chunk of money with you and I'm looking for some more benefit. That's what we are planning to do.
Right. And also, could you please help to understand why are yields in, say, markets like Bihar, the pressure over there is more higher than, let's say, in our other markets, like, say, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan?
Why? Because in Bihar, I'm a number 2 player. So if the number 1 player decides to offer a major discount, I really can't afford to say no to the client what the number 1 is offering there. While in Madhya Pradesh, I'm in a different state where I can refuse a business and the advertiser would come back to me because of the response factor in the market.
Okay, fine. Thank you for your answer.
Pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Yash Raghuvanshi from JP Associates. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So my question is actually built up on a previous question that was asked regarding employee costs. We are seeing that costs have increased to 106 from 91, and you mentioned that there are 3 reasons behind it. First one being that the incentives were paid during the 4th quarter, right?
Yes.
And second was because of digital initiatives that you've taken. Which was the third reason?
ESOPs.
Okay. And have you seen any difference or any increase in the headcount?
Yes, there has been a reduction in the headcount over last year.
During the 4th quarter?
During the 4th quarter, yes. It will show in the 4th quarter, yes.
Any numbers if you would like to help us with?
I can. So it's a department-wise, market-wise. Our overall reduction over the period of 1 year's time has been in the range of around, almost 6% reduction in manpower count.
Okay. And this is across the departments or any particular, of course,
Across the department, wherever we could use the technology, we could optimize the resources, is on those front.
Okay. And going forward, we are seeing normalized levels of 90-95 quarterly?
I would say in the same range, yes.
Okay. All right. That's about it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Himanshu Yu from PGIM Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. A small question. Any sectors which are doing better or expected to do better on the advertising front end? The sectors where we are expecting the growth may take time to come back for us. Any trends you are visualizing?
Automobile has started coming back in the month of June, and which did pretty good in the 4th quarter. Education is one sector where I'm very concerned, because what has happened, the examinations got cancelled. There was no results to announce. Most of the schools, those who used to publish a full-page ad saying that so many students became meritorious, that business kind of got lost. Big coaching classes, which were big advertiser with us, now the physical coaching classes are shut. So that is one category which is totally missing from our business, because they all are trying online, but you know how people are, they don't pay for online. So everybody get enrolled for online, but nobody pays. So that's one category I'm concerned about, because that's a big category in the Q1 and Q2 also. Automobile, I'm very confident they will come back. Another category is entertainment, the cinema, all that business. Since the market is shut, cinemas are shut, also not happening. And one category which is bothering us is the lifestyle, the apparels and the shoes and the accessories and all that. Since people are working from home or there are no marriages happening, the quarter one, especially the April, May, used to be the big wedding season. Almost 40% of India's wedding happen in April, May, June month. Now that went into lockdown. So the entire shadi shopping, went for a toss this year. So that's the concern. But I hope going forward things should improve. FMCG has improved a bit. So yeah, it's a mixed basket actually.
And how is the government business coming? Or it remains slow? Or
it's subdued for us, pretty subdued for us.
Okay. So from 2019 level, we have not seen any improvement, or it is even below 2019?
Yeah, government will be slightly below 19.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Due to time constraints, that was the last question. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
I thank you for your participation and time on this earnings call, and I hope that we have responded to your queries adequately today. We'll be happy to be of assistance through our investor relations department headed by Mr. Prasoon Pandey for any further inquiries. Take care everyone and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of DB Corp Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.